last but not least, that's how the saying goes. Last but not least, give it up for Asher Noah O'Brien.
Hi, everybody. I'm from Pittsburgh, and this is actually my first time doing comedy in Seattle, so I'm super happy to be here. Thank you. You know, it's nice to have lineups like this because, like, it's such a nice queer crowd and queer comedians. Like, Pittsburgh, there aren't many queer people. You come to Seattle, you throw a rock, you hit a trans person. Don't do that, because it's definitely a hate crime. But you could, just saying. The queerest people I know personally are probably kindergartners. No, like, they're seriously very polyamorous. They play house with a lot of wives. They got a chore wheel for the day, what wife they're hanging out with that day, you know? I know this is true personally because when I was a child, my mother used to call me the village tricycle. Yeah. Similar to the village bicycle, only smaller. This was true because I would get into fights with girls all the time over boys. You know, I looked like that type of person. I was in kindergarten at the time. I wasn't just fighting random kindergartners over kindergarten boys. But it got really rough one time because I ended up pulling out the hoop earrings of this girl over this boy. And why a kindergartner was wearing hoop earrings to the playground in the fucking first place, I don't know. The standards we have on children these days are ridiculous. But I honestly think it's kind of the parents' fault, because who sends their child out to the playground to play wearing hoops, right? Take them off, bitch. It's the first rule of Fight Club, right? I don't know. I think I became such an hard to manage child because I grew up with 4 siblings, and my mother was always trying to medicinally suppress us to like keep us at bay. And I don't mean that she was crushing up Ambien and putting in our pudding cups, but she would have if she thought of that. I mean that we kept finding weed at the toe of our stocking every single year because Mama wanted one truly silent night. I don't know, I think that's humane. I think that's a good thing to do. Like, do you guys ever drug your dogs or your cats for the holidays? No? Come on! For like 4th of July or New Year's? It's a holiday, it's your dog's resolution to get fucked up! Right? Humane thing to do, really. Another reason I know I was a difficult kid was I kept getting called into the principal's office during elementary school for spitting on my desk and rubbing it around. Yeah, not a nice thing to say in a pandemic timeline, but it was a long time ago. And I got called into the principal's office and they brought my parents in, which was like a hassle of itself because they're divorced and getting them in a tiny room, that was difficult. But my parents, being the wonderful parents that they were, their primary concern when the principal told them, like, your kid's doing this, was when I could get started on their boots. Yeah, do we have any military families out there? No, the guy in the army jacket left, it's fine, target demographic. But I keep hearing about how transgender people are not allowed in the military. And I keep thinking, oh, I didn't realize we wanted to go. I thought it was an unspoken rule that when all the cis men went to fight World War III, we'd stay home. And keep the cis women company, right? Put that spit shine to work. Come on, no, more for me. Yeah, I am transgender, and that in my set has started a lot of bar fights in Pittsburgh, so I'm glad to be in Seattle right now. One of the things I like to say to disarm people is I'm a transgender comedian, so my pronouns are he. Yeah. I know being transgender is a new subject for people, and new subjects can be confusing. I remember math. So I try to explain as simply as I can what being transgender means to me. And it means I don't know who to relate to when I'm watching porn. That's all it means. Seriously, that is all it means. And I really hope that some of you guys leave here tonight going, oh shit, I might be transgender. You might be, come on. Personally, I would rather always be the cameraman, right? I went to film school, can you tell about the everything about me? It was really hard for my parents when I came out as a screenwriter. Yeah, it's a lot like being unemployed. It is being unemployed. My favorite movie is a little movie called Fight Club, though. Have y'all heard of Fight Club? Yeah? Okay, hell yeah. I don't like it for the toxic masculine reasons, though don't worry. I like it because I'm a soap enthusiast. And there are very few movies about the joys of soap making. But it's come to my attention that a lot of dude bros really like Fight Club, to the point where they have all the rules memorized, just sitting in the back pocket of their cowboy cut Wrangler jeans. You know, you go up to a dude bro and you ask, what's the third rule of Fight Club? He can tell you. The fight stops when someone taps out, goes limp, or says stop. You ask that same dude bro what the definition of consent is? About as quiet as this room is. If I taught a sex ed course, I think I would only teach it through the rules of Fight Club. Yeah, no shirt, no shoes, only two guys to a fight, and my personal favorite, fights will go on as long as they have to. I mean it this time, guys. As long as they have to, come on. I'm gonna tell a little story, we'll tie back into Fight Club, don't worry. Hang tight. But I think you should be able to change your body in any way that you want or desire, you know? Get all the rules of Fight Club tattooed on your neck. Why the fuck not? But I realized I wanted a breast reduction surgery about 4 years ago when my mother and my sister took me to a nude beach and my sister stole my bikini top. Bitches. But my sister, she was like running around with it, waving it over her head. Not a back problem in the world. Not to be rude here, but not to compare apples to oranges, but if you juiced my sister's apples, you could have a glass of best, you know? I know this is true, because my mother said, should I get a breast reduction surgery, I should think about donating the excess breast meat to my sister's cause. Aww, bitches. You know, for the tax write-off? But so when I went to the top surgeon, I had 3 questions. Mainly, I wanted to know would I be able to keep the breast meat, but I had a couple important ones first. The first question I asked the top surgeon was, when they take off and reattach the nipples. Let me repeat that for the people in the back. When they take off and reattach the nipples, because that is what they do. How do they know that the nipple isn't going to be upside down? Second question. When they take off and reattach the nipple, how do they know that the left nipple is on the right side and the right nipple is on the left side? And my last question, the question that my sister was dying to know the answer of, was, would I be able to keep the breast meat? Perhaps in corresponding jars, labeled left and right, as to not get confused. And give them to my sister for the holidays. Because as you guys remember, I used to be a bitch. It came to an overarching no, though, and that was really upsetting to me because, like, there were these family heirlooms that they were just gonna throw away in a biohazardous waste site. Like, imagine walking down the street and seeing the Mona Lisa in a dumpster. People paid good money to see that. More money than I'm getting paid tonight. But I have faith, though, because there's this little movie called Fight Club, where Brad Pitt breaks into biohazardous waste sites to steal medical fat to make soap. Wouldn't feel like such a waste if my titties were going to lathering up Brad Pitt's washboard abs. You know, reuse, reduce, recycle, right? I want to save the planet, one step at a time. Brad Pitt is the first step, though. As a transgender man, I actually have some really weird experiences as doctors, mainly because I ask super weird questions to the doctor, but I am dying for the day where I pass well enough as a man that I can go to a male doctor, and he looks at me and he says, "It's time to check your prostate." He like snaps on his Tim Curry gloves and everything. Okay. Keep digging. It's deep. Real hypothetical, you could say. Yeah, I have some weird experiences being trans. It makes for good comedy, I'll give it that, but that's about it sometimes, but I enjoy it. I am staying with my partner's family right now, and that's a little weird for me because my boyfriend's dad thinks that he's gay, and my boyfriend's mom thinks that he's straight. I do not settle this debate. More questions raised than answered with me. The best part, though, is that sometimes we'll go out to dinner and I'll catch them betting on it. No, seriously, like, I'll order an old-fashioned, $5 bill slides across the table. I cross my legs, $5 bill slides right back. You'd think if they knew the one with the prostate was the one getting stimulated, $50 bill would slide across the table, you know? I don't know. If you're betting on something as lucrative as your son's sexuality, I should get a cut, right? I could make some good money off this. You know that phrase, house always wins? Yeah, did I say house? I meant whore. Whore always wins. I'm fine staying with them. It beats staying with my own parents sometimes. My own dad, he had really high expectations for me. He sat me down when I was around 6 years old, and he told me, "You could be the next president of the United States." I think it's kind of bold of him to think a man with so many DUIs he can't enter Canada would create a global leader. I know you can tell that me and my dad don't really get along very well. It's probably the gay thing. But after 3 DUIs, the government installs a breathalyzer into your own vehicle. Yeah, let me tell you, he looked pretty gay blowing into that every single night to start his car. I'm just kidding, guys. We blew into it for him. We were having apple juice all night. This one was on us. Come on. I wish that wasn't a joke. That's okay, though. I'll talk a little bit about my mother, because I believe in equality and insurance-canceled therapy. My sister and I recently went to visit my mother, and she was talking a lot about what she wanted to do as she got older, and how we'd be taking care of her as she got older. And I remember thinking, aw, no we won't. I'm not saying this because I'm a bad person. I'm a bad person that's unrelated. For context here, again, I am an indie screenwriter, and my sister Well, she's an abstract painter. Yeah, she makes pixelized pictures of boobs where you have to step back to see it. She even made a vagina beanbag once, sink into that one. But our retirement plan for our mother is honestly to put her on the side of the highway with a plywood sign that says free on it, right? Art students, we're going to be living in basement apartments with exposed plumbing until the day we die. Our mattresses might be on the floor, but our dreams are through the roof. Yeah. My backup plan is to put her on Craigslist. Because, they pay you to take her. That's a pretty good retirement plan, if you ask me. But you can buy anything online. And if you're like, you can't buy anything online, have you tried? You can buy anything online. I know this because about 5 years ago, I ordered a penis over the internet. It's customizable, like a Build-A-Bear workshop. I chose 5 inches. What am I trying to prove? Nothing. This is where I like to say it's not real penis, it's what's called a packer, an STP, stand to pee, and is what a lot of trans men use to use a urinal. I would like to sidebar and say I'm pretty sure you could buy a real penis over the internet. But that's just one of those I don't want to know situations, What would you even do when you got it? I never learned how to sew. Anyway, one of the first times I was using this fake penis was in a mall movie theater with rows and rows of urinals. It's basically like a big trough. And I'm a little piss shy as a guy, but I decide to use a urinal instead of a stall. And I'm about midstream or so when a man bursts into the bathroom. You could tell he was high, it reeked like Christmas morning. But he saddles up to the urinal right next to mine. And I'm new to being a guy, so I don't know if this is proper male etiquette. Is it? No. Okay. Well, my second thought was maybe it's a meet cute. Like our hands go for the flush at the same time. Regardless, I'm nervous. And peeing with a packer on can be very difficult because it's like a dick with a funnel, basically. It's like if you've seen the glasses with the fake nose and the mustaches, it is those penis. And so if you pee too fast, the funnel part can overflow into your pants. So I'm trying hard to concentrate, and he's humming this Weezer song. And I fumble with my zipper, and I hear, and I look down, and he looks down at this lost gooey duck in the center of the urinal bowl. It was like he was trying to alert me. He went, "Your dick." And I didn't know what to say. I didn't even stick around because drugs can make you see some crazy shit. I know that because I partied so hard in high school I can no longer see the color purple. So, I know what I saw, but I really want to know what he thought he saw. Right? I want to know about the time he saw a man's penis fall off. The man scream, grab the penis, and run away. That's gotta make you check in a rehab, right? Or at the very least, every time he uses a urinal, he's like, oh, thank God, it's still there. Thank you guys very much. I'm Asher O'Brien. This has been lovely. Tip your bartender. Thank you to your host and your producer.